Hello. I just wanted to pop in for a second and do a reveal on the Birds on a Wire table that my granddaughter Jewel and I were working on yesterday with the ombre finish on top. And Jewel, who is 10, did all of the painting on the bottom part of the table as well as the waxing, and we created a custom wax in bohemian blue. And I did go in with some dark wax afterward to get a little bit more detail showing through on the legs of the table. And we used the regular bohemian blue on the edges here, and then waxed over that, and then went back in with a dark wax in the indentations and of the carvings, and then I just put a little of the white wax and touched it here and there over the top, and then buffed it on to get a little bit, to highlight a little bit of the outer portion on it. But I just finished painting the birds. I did paint the Birds on a Wire with acrylic paints. You can use the DIY paint and then use the DIY paint and the acrylic together, whatever you prefer. I had more colors available to me in that I wanted to match my curtains, which I did put in the other video, a photograph of them, and I'll put it in here as well. But this table, like we said before, was one that my daughter and son-in-law picked up for me for $10 at a flea market in Lafayette, Louisiana, called the Jockey Lot. And I was so proud to get it, and it's going to be perfect to use in my sunroom, which is the room that has the curtains that I'll put the picture of with the birds on it. And I want to put beach towels on it and sunscreen and goggles and things like that we use outside for the pool that I don't want to put on the porch because my cat lays on them and I'm not into that. So I thought this table would be perfect for summertime, to go just right inside the back door for the grandkids to grab stuff off of and put stuff on. And I wanted to try a couple of new techniques. I wanted to try making a custom tinted wax. That worked out awesome. I wanted to try letting you see a 10-year-old do the painting and do the waxing on this so that you could see, using these products, how easy it is. That worked out well. And I wanted to do the ombre finish, see how it turned out here, and that turned out well. I used the bohemian blue and the, I don't know if it's crinoline or crinoline, but I did mention at that time a couple of things that I want to bring your attention to here. And this table's lightweight, so I may pick it up. But I had mentioned that I had sanded a small area and of the table, and I probably should use a sealer over that, like a shellac or something like that, or the tannins may bleed through. And I was lazy and I didn't, because it wasn't that important to me, because the table was for me and I wanted to see what would happen. And there was a black stain in this shape right here, and I did sand over it a tad, so I did release something, and it did bleed through with the tan color there on top. And there was one other thing that I had mentioned, and I may be able to do it again right here, was a couple of the bristles came off of my brush while I was painting, and I told you that I had seen another paint artist say, just leave it, and when it dries, rub your finger back and forth, and it'll come off, like that one just did. It came off, but where I made the mistake was I put Big Top over this before I did that, so it did leave a bit of an indentation. The other one was right in here. It's barely noticeable, but to me it would be noticeable. Like I said, I'm not worried about this because this is just going to be a utility table that I wanted to look really cute in my sunroom. But those are things that, you know, you may want to take into account. If you are going to rub out the brush, do it before you put the Big Top on, and do go ahead and use some type of oil-based cover over any areas that you sand off the finish before you work on it. I'm going to try to pick it up and see if you can see the finish a little better. There's the little birdies, and those do match the birds that are on the curtain. See if I can put this back down. What I'm waiting for that to dry, I have my handy pan there again today, and I'm waiting for the acrylic paint to completely dry, which should be done within 4 or 5 minutes. And I'm going to put another coat of the Big Top water-based sealer on it, because it is something that they're probably going to run back in after getting in the pool with wet fingers and grab things and throw their goggles back on it and things throughout the year. It is going to have exposure to water, so I do want to make sure it's good and protected. And as I said before, I put a coat of this down before I put the Bohemian Blue custom wax that I made around the edges, and so that it would you know, your wax is always the last thing you do, and I wanted to put some wax on there, so I did put a coat of that on there. And then I painted these two black lines on here for the wires, and then I went with Big Top just over that because I had done Big Top for a layer ahead of that. So then I put a layer just on top of the black lines, which were done with Little Black Dress, the DIY paint. And right now I'm about to go just over the birds because, like I said, I put wax around the edges and came in a little, so I can't wax all the way to the edges, or I probably could. Some of it may peel up and off, and I'm not into checking it out to see if that's going to happen. So what I'm going to do is put the Big Top just over the birds. There's already 2 coats, you know, on one coat over the whole thing, 2 coats over the center area, and then there'll be a second coat over the birds as well, which will be a 3rd coat in parts of that area. So I hope you enjoyed that. I've had a couple of requests in the last couple of days for people who are wanting their cabinets distressed and redone, and talking about using the DIY paint for that. While I don't do cabinet work myself, and I don't know anybody in my immediate area that does, I'm gonna find a small cabinet of some sort, or a couple of cabinet doors, and I'm going to do a live demonstration of that. So if it is something you want to see, watch. I'll let you know in advance about the live that's going to come up for that, and you know, make you aware to be able to watch it or catch it on the replay. But if there's anything else like that that you would like to see, colors done together and things before you come up and make your selection of paint, like the client I was talking to a few minutes ago likes a French provincial look, but she doesn't know if she has gray floors, whether she wants to go with white and gray and off-white and a blue, or off-white and gray, exactly what she wants to do. So I've invited her to come up whenever I do the demonstration on the cabinet doors, once I locate a couple, and help her choose her colors that way. So I would be glad to do that for you as well, and I appreciate you. If there's anything that you would like to see or learn, if I don't know it, I'll find it out, or you can come up and we can do it together. Just let me know. I appreciate you. Leave it down in the comments, and sharing is caring. Please share this if you can. It helps us to grow the artisan market at Get Healthy, and helps the other artisan and artists that are here as well. Thanks. We appreciate you. Bye.